welcome to Jeff Koinange live at the poolside of the Intercontinental Hotel. Tonight, the show promises to be explosive at best. It is the battle for Garissa County. That's right, my guest today just both happen to come from Garissa County. They're probably related. They've been speaking Somali for the last 3-5 minutes. I don't know what they've been talking about, but what we're going to talk about is the 3 R's: reshuffles, referendum, and the recent road trip by the president and his team. On my far right, he is the Member of Parliament for Garissa Town. He also happens to be the House Majority Leader, Aden Duale. He's had a busy day doing the talk show circuit. He must be ready for this show now. He'd better be right here in the middle. The former Member of Parliament for Lagdera, also former Deputy Speaker, Farah Maalim. Oh yeah, sit back. By the way, Twitter handle at
Honorable Aden Duale.
At Honorable Aden Duale. Mine is at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. Farah Maalim, still analog. We'll get him there eventually. Gentlemen, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You've been talking that language for the last 10 minutes, man.
Yeah, we were planning how to deal with you tonight.
How to deal with me?
Yes.
All right. Before we get to the 3 R's, which I just mentioned, ODM.
Yes.
ODM. What's going on? Fred Gumo and Maguire, they call a press conference, and it seems to be imploding. Babu Namwamba, who won't come on this show, which is okay, it's fine. He's saying, you know, there's no fairness in ODM. Is it imploding?
Not quite. I think what you have to understand, Jeff, is that anything that's good has a lot of interest in it. ODM is a mass movement. It's a very powerful mass movement. Nothing of its kind. And by extension, CORD, I should say CORD actually. Nothing like it has been witnessed in this country from the days of NAC. You remember NAC?
Yes.
When the whole 70%, 80% of Kenyans got together to get rid of Kanu. So ODM is along with Ford Kenya and with Wiper in the CORD coalition, very popular. So when you have a very powerful, popular movement, there's bound to be a lot of stresses and tensions and infightings. Everybody's fighting for relevance. If it was a party that was nothing, a non-entity, people would just walk away and walk to something else.
No.
How come I'm not convinced? Are you convinced?
We predicted in 2009, me and William Ruto.
Yeah.
History is judging us right. 2009, we saw this house is collapsing.
Because you were in ODM then?
Yes. I was the vice chair in charge of political affairs in ODM. Ruto was the deputy party leader. We saw the house was collapsing. We took off. Banana followed us. Giru followed. Musalia did, and many others.
And look at them now.
And you know, it's a question of fast learners and slow learners. Ababu Namwanga, Gideon Mungaru, Maguire, Fred Gumo. It's now they have realized the only piece of that house which was remaining is about to collapse. They better take off. I am telling them. It is disintegrating it is even disintegrating faster than the way the Soviet Union disintegrated, I can tell you.
But I must say, up until Ababu Namwamba, he started complaining, bickering, and people started saying, okay, this guy's been a mole throughout, which has probably been proved now. He's probably been a mole throughout for these guys.
Yes.
But when Fred Gumo calls a press conference, Fred Gumo, senior member,
Kangumu.
Fred Gumo is a friend of mine. He is a veteran of the movement in the latter history. In the early history, of course, we were in different camps. He was in Kanu. We were in the opposition forces. What you have to understand is that there is an element of disappointment on the part of all those people who had that, wildfire burning in their own stomachs to try and make sure that this movement delivers the government and delivers Kenyans. So for Fred Gumo, I can see it as it's like the way I was here. I appeared before you here, and I told you that my party is on a deathbed.
Yes, you did.
You see, I told you that. It's not because I wanted to bolt from it.
And you're still part of it.
I'm still part of it in a big way, massive way, and always. And I still think that, look, make a parallel between the CORD coalition right now and ANC when Mandela was in Robben Island. There was the Nkata Buthelez's party.
Right.
There was all these things that the government of the day was doing to try and create internal stripes within the ANC, and at the same time create other black-based movements to try and water down ANC. What you have to understand is that we are not in the government. Duale and his friends are in the government now. They will not make us slip. There's no doubt about that. They have their ways of infiltrating, and they have the machinery of the state. Let me just finish.
Yeah.
They have the machinery of the state.
Yes.
I mean, they're very powerful. They have the resources. They have the intelligence system. They have the jobs. They have everything. Let me be honest with you. So they're not giving us time to rest. But I can assure you one thing.
Yes.
We'll get over these things, and we'll move on, and we'll soldier on, and we will just triumph exactly the way ANC
before you answer, Mheshimiwa here just compared the ANC with ODM.
Precisely. No, with Cord Coalition. With Cord Coalition. ANC, ODM is part of the Cord Coalition.
Go.
ODM or Cord Coalition is far away from ANC, just in terms of even the age. I mean, you know, when you want to compare two entities, you look at the age. ANC is of 100 years age. The Cord Coalition is barely, I think, 16 months, 16, 17 months. But let me,
Jubilee.
Yeah, of course, yes. I'm not comparing Jubilee with the ANC. I mean, we are not there. Maybe many years to come. But the fundamentals, let us run away from the fundamentals. The Cord Coalition, or ODM, that is now disintegrating at a very fast rate. Now they're in HDU, they're in the High Dependency Unit. Next week, they will be in ICU. The major problems facing ODM is the same problem that faced ODM in 2008, 2009, when we left. ODM is like an organization, it's like a cult, owned by one individual. And you know, it's very, very clear. I mean, Honorable Farah is a guy I have a lot of respect for. But ODM has an ideology. It is a cult. It has systems. It has stratas. It has a class system. So when you speak in ODM, you must speak as per your class. It's like the Indian caste system. So Ababu Namwamba thought that he is in the upper class, that he can pick the Secretary General. And you know my free advice to them? We were told, take a walk in 2009. We decided to leave ODM. Today, we have 76 members of parliament from our party in the National Assembly. We have 10 governors, we have 10 senators. That is a plus. So I want to tell all those people who don't want to live in a party where there's a lot of intolerance, where the space is not there. Please take a walk. The Mungarus, the Babus, your young leaders, take a walk, form a political outfit, compete in the political dispensation in our country. You have a chance to prove yourself. Ababu is a guy I respect a lot, a leader.
Has he been your mole?
You know, for now, we have constitutionally a super majority in parliament and in the Senate, and we have the executive. Our primary objective as a Jubilee is to fulfill our social contract with the Kenyan people. We have no time for now to either go for referendum or to meddle in the political affairs of any political party.
You didn't answer my question. Is he your mole?
He is not. Far from it.
Is he the mole?
There's a very powerful school of thought within the Cord Coalition who believe he's one of them.
Yes.
I don't want to be very categorical about that. I had my own brushes with Ababu before because of the manner in which he conducted himself just before the bungled Kasarani elections. Because we were trying to bring the team together, and he stood out there and took a very hard position and said, either my way or no way, we'll go in there. So, and of course, with the kind of resources that was also moving around.
At his disposal.
At his disposal. Many of us,
helicopters?
Yes. Many of us were worried that he was doing the bidding for them. Now, let me tell you one thing, Jeff. Let me tell you.
How many helicopters? Four, I'm told. Four.
This is history repeating itself.
Yes.
Duale, the Vice President, Deputy President Ruto, His Excellency the President Uhuru, And all the people he talks about right now who have voted from ODM were together in YK92 and in Kanu in the...
I've never been in YK92. I've never been a member of Kanu. I want to correct that.
No, wait.
But referendum?
I'll tell you. No, wait.
Yes.
I'll tell you.
2005.
I don't want to go that direction.
Yes.
But for all practical purposes, Duale was part of Kanu those days. He cannot object to that. Let me explain.
Oh, yes.
He can't.
Through an association, I was a member of Kanu.
He can't. There are many ways. A lot of associations in there. And I don't blame him because it's an ideological persuasion. You can stand out and basically defend that. So somehow the knack of 2002, disintegrated that, and people went, helter-skelter. The way you can find a very big crowd of gazelles in there, and then one cheetah appears, and they all run in different directions. So
that's how knack was.
That's how knack was. Knack came in there. So they started looking for some kind of a relevance or some kind of a cover in all different directions. To the extent which Uhuru will be in a different place. Yes. And Ruto, who was his right-hand man, will be in a different place. And basically that's what happened. Now, what happened is that when the dust has settled, and it's like after all there's no more cheetah there, they have to find their way to come back together. And I don't blame them for that. I respect them for that. But there's still a good number of those ones who are in our camp now.
Jeff.
Who need to find their way.
Yes.
Who need to find their footing back.
Yes.
Go back home. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Jeff,
Yes.
When the ODM brigade, I almost said the court brigade, and the ODM brigade asked for the disbandment of the IEBC. I was shocked. Because this is a party that could not do its own internal elections. It bungled its own elections. In fact, it carried a political party coup in Kasarani. What happened? The Prime Minister took off to the US. 3 months, he came back. And we thought he came back more wiser, that he's going to put his house in order. He went to Uhuru Park and said all this. But I can tell you that what is happening in ODM now is exactly what happened in the period between 2009 and 2010. ODM is a serious party. I was one time a member. It's a very serious party. It had very good manifesto. It had very good leaders, including the deputy speaker. But when you want to manage a political mass movement, a political party like ODM, like a cult, like an entity owned by a community, like you will not entertain voices of dissent, of opinion. Look at, for us, Alfred Keter was running everywhere in this country. Isaac Ruto, our own governor, is running with his gun everywhere.
And he's in your party?
Yes. No one time did we say, Isaac, we are expelling you from the party. You will not say this. Kenya is now on a new dispensation. Political parties must mature. Dissenting opinions are very, very healthy for political parties. But when you hear the voice of Fred Gumo, Kang Gumo, you hear the voice of Ababu and his team, you'll hear very soon the voice of Mungaru and Joho, and you'll hear a voice from the pastoralist. And what will happen? ODM will be reduced to the NDP of 1997. Take it from me.
Jeff, let me tell you. When you look at all the people that Mashima has mentioned, they all were together before. They were all in the old Kanu. And one thing is...
who was in Kanu? Raila was in Kanu. Raila was in Kanu.
You're very right.
Alonso was in Kanu.
Musical chairs.
Sangula was introduced to politics by Moi.
Let me explain.
Who was not in Kanu?
And basically there are those people who have a problem staying out in the cold playing opposition politics.
Yes.
There are always those people who would find, look, it's too cold out here.
Yeah.
We can't stay out there.
Baridi.
It is
of
cold.
course it's cold.
Deputy Speaker will tell you.
Let me tell you.
I was in the cold between 2009.
You in the cold.
Until President Kibaki adopted me. I tell you, me and Ruto and many others.
Are you in the cold now?
Yes.
Well, look.
Unasikia baridi?
I have never been in government except that time when there was a coalition government as the Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
But I'm comfortable wherever I am. Because there's a difference. Can I just finish?
Yeah.
There's a difference. You're either a convictional politician who believes in certain very powerful ideological persuasions and you want to see to it, or you're a career politician who has to seek, survival. If you have to be a career politician who has to seek survival, of course you move from one end to the other end, and you can't stay out in the cold too long.
What is a Babu right now? What is he?
I don't want us to discuss
Ababu.
Let's not discuss. Ababu
He is
is
the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee.
Yeah, but which side is he on? I want to
He's
know.
in ODM. He's in court.
No, let's
And
not
he's a member
discuss.
for Budalangi.
I think that has been put very well.
But he's a mole.
Oh.
That's been put very well, and I think you got it very right in the manner that
Can I define for you what Ababu is?
many Kenyans share that with you.
Yes.
Many Kenyans share that with you.
Who did the opinion poll?
And many Kenyans also think that he is a brilliant, sharp young man, and the party should not lose him, and he should be allowed to do things the way. But I personally would never sacrifice on the altar of experience any powerful ideological persuasions. I want people to be there on conviction.
Okay.
Not because.
Let me tell you, Jeff.
Can I just finish? I haven't finished.
Okay.
You see, I'm in between two folks. One is the majority leader. He has to shout very loud in the house, and all these guys, he has to tell them what to do. when I was a deputy speaker,
yes,
I only had to say order, and everybody keeps quiet. So
you're telling us order?
No, I can't do it.
Yes.
It's not in the house. So I have a problem.
Okay.
Now let me tell you.
Yes.
I do agree with you. The serious, very, very serious problems in ODM that needs to be addressed. It's a mass movement. It has to be a movement, and it has to grow out of an individual. Thus far, it's been identified with just one individual. There's no question about that.
Out of
an individual.
In other words, beyond.
I agree with you.
I
agree with you.
Okay, let me ask you this. Before you, I get your point. I get your point real quick. So with all these problems, with all these challenges, how in God's earth are you going to conduct a referendum? Help me.
Now, the reason why we're seeking a referendum right now is because of very pertinent, powerful reasons that have arisen as a result of the operationalization of this constitution and the way the administration or the governance of this country has been conducted. And we have seen areas in which we can improve the constitution. So basically, we're trying to improve the constitution for posterity. We're trying to improve the constitution for the many, many generations to come. Let me tell you, for example, we have seen how far 2.5% of the ordinary revenue of the country is able to do through the CDF. There are many, many constituents, and Mheshimiwa Duale will agree with me, in this country who saw development for the first time through CDF.
Through CDF, right.
Now that the county government have come into place, if we get a good county government in a good place, I can assure you the possibilities are
endless.
Endless. So what we want to do, and we also see the graft at the center. The center has been using, and literally there has been maladministration, misadministration, embezzlements, open theft. Yeah. That's why we have all these big cases, the Golden Bag, the Anglo leasing, and the rest of it. We want to take a little bit more resources to the periphery.
Before you do that, and Mheshimiwa here mentioned it, right? He says if you can't put your own house in order, is that what you said?
Absolutely.
How are you going to conduct a referendum for the country?
We're not going to conduct the referendum ourselves.
But you're going to push it. You're going to push it.
The referendum is their baby.
It's the baby.
You need to nurture that baby.
We're pushing.
How do you nurture a baby called referendum in a house which is at war with each other?
You see, we're not.
You need to have a focus, a strategy, a roadmap.
We're not the ones.
But let me come back to the problems in ODM. I wish them well. We need very strong political parties.
I'm sure you wouldn't wish them well because they're your. You don't wish them out of government.
No, let me finish.
I don't think you wish them well.
Let me finish.
Let me finish.
Go on.
Deputy Speaker, you spoke.
Okay,
let me finish.
Okay.
I wish them well.
Yes.
Because I believe in strong political parties. And ODM is the largest political party in terms of numbers in the National Assembly. They have 96 members. TNA has 86 members. URP has 76 members. Today, the only 3 political parties that can initiate an impeachment of the president is those 3 political parties. So we don't want ODM to die. But ODM must grow out of that situation of a cult system. I mean, you either run a political party as per the Political Parties Act and the Constitution and the new dispensation, or you go back to your own ethnic cocoon and have a political party that has only your members. One of the reasons why I left ODM, and the Deputy Speaker will agree with me, in 2007, ODM campaign pledges, one of the most fundamental was to introduce a livestock insurance policy. And when I became a member of parliament in 2008, I a number of times raised, ODM was in government, they had the half loaf. I raised where I was a deputy minister for livestock.
And what happened?
And I asked, why is the minister for livestock who sits in the cabinet, why are you not taking? And he says, ask your principal. Who was by then the prime minister.
Who was the minister for livestock?
The minister was Dr. Kuti, a pastoralist. And we asked him.
Dr. Kuti was from where? Was he from ODM?
No, let me finish. Dr. Kuti was a PNU. But the supervisor and the coordinator of cabinet affairs and cabinet subcommittees was the former prime minister. I was told in this party, you don't raise issues. In this party, you carry the Bible, you carry the Quran, you go to the mosque or the church. You say what the Baba and the Mama have said. What happened? You know, I had an obligation to the people of Northern Kenya.
Yes.
The next thing was I was told, if you are dissatisfied, take a walk. The same language that Jakoyo, that Oburu, and many of the other colleagues used on me and William Ruto. It's the same language. They're not even learning from history. They told us, you guys take a walk. Today, Ababu Namwamba is being told, take a walk. Ababu Namwamba in 2008, when we were being sworn in, is a guy who refused to swear.
Under President Kibaki?
Under President Kibaki.
I remember.
Today, unfortunately, the man he adored, the party he fought for, on the floor of the house, outside. And let me tell you, Jeff, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. Why is everybody leaving ODM, including my speaker? He's saying there is a problem. There's
a problem.
So it is when he's going to take a walk.
Before you answer, real quick, that livestock bill, did it ever come about?
Yes, it's coming up now.
It's coming up now?
It's in cabinet.
Can I talk about it?
Under the Jubilee government, yes.
Can I talk about it?
Let's do that after the break. Let's take a quick break, come back, talk about that, because these are really pertinent issues. Let's talk about the president's trip to the US. You weren't there this time, man. You're always on the president's trip. I didn't see you in Washington.
Oh, I had a busy things to fix. And you know,
I would say the same thing.
When the president's away, I can't leave.
Because you're number 3 or what?
No, I'm on number 3. I'm a serious guy in the Jubilee coalition.
Serious guy in Jubilee coalition. Oh my, what a show.
He's number 3 in the Jubilee coalition.
He's number 3, yeah?
Yes.
House Majority Leader Aden Duale, former Deputy Speaker Farah Maalim, at Honorable Aden Duale, yeah? At Honorable Aden Duale.
Yes.
At Koinange Jeff, the hashtag is JK. We're going to read your tweets when we come back. Plenty to talk about this bench. I tell you, it was chilly earlier on. Now it's getting hot on the bench. You know we're going to be coming back. I might have to use this fire extinguisher at some point.
And the floater.
Maybe now. We'll be back in a moment.